Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast, where I try to keep you up to date and shed a little light on what is happening on and off the field with the Packers. To my loyal listeners and viewers, a heartfelt thank you for your continued support and engagement. Your participation has been pivotal to the growth of this channel. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe, leave your comments, and join me on social media at Packer Mentality. Please don't forget, you can find this podcast on all the major platforms. Well, it wasn't Packers news. It was big news this week, and that was the retirement of Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald. Just want to say a quick word about Aaron. He was probably the best defensive player we've seen over the past 15 to 20 years, and he is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Congratulations to him on a great career. On the other end of the spectrum, there was also news out of the NFC North. Coming as no surprise, the Bears finally traded Justin Fields to the Steelers. And despite all the noise from Bears fans that they would get a nice pick for him, all they got back was a conditional sixth round pick that could become a fourth round pick based on playing time. We did get some news from the Packers on top 30 visits. There are at least two confirmed visits so far, and they are familiar names from my mock drafts. Offensive lineman Zach Zinter from Michigan and linebacker Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M. Keep an eye on the guys that visit the Packers because a very healthy percentage of them do find their way onto the Packers roster. We have come to the end of the first week and the first wave of free agency. Most of the big money contracts have been awarded. Now it's a little bit of a waiting game to see what kind of bargains the teams can get. Even though the Packers were big spenders right out of the gate, they do still have money to spend if they want to. Or they can wait and hope they get guys cheap by just kind of waiting them out. Or is there someone out there that could help the Packers that they just can't wait for? What positions or what position still need help for the Packers? First, let's take a look at who has come or who has left from the roster. Let's start with the guys who are definitely not coming back. Aaron Jones signed with the Vikings. Devondre Campbell signed with the 49ers. John Runyon Jr. signed with the Giants. Darnell Savage signed with the Jaguars. David Bakhtiari was cut. Still don't think he's coming back. Now to the guys who have re-signed with the Packers. Coming back will be cornerback Keyshawn Nixon, cornerback Corey Ballantyne, running back A.J. Dillon, linebacker Christian Welch, tight end Tyler Davis, tackle Caleb Jones, running back Emmanuel Wilson, and punter Daniel Whelan. New names to the Packers and very exciting names for the Packers. Xavier McKinney, safety, and running back Josh Jacobs. Still unsigned are Josiah DeGuara, tight end, tackle Yash Diamond, safety Rudy Ford, and linebacker Eric Wilson. So where does that leave the Packers roster? What do they still need? They still need a box safety. And they will definitely need at least one other safety. They have three holes to fill on the offensive line. They need a starting caliber linebacker. They need depth at corner or competition at corner, slot and edge corner. They need depth at defensive line. Running back is not quite as dire a need with the re-signing of A.J. Dillon, but his new contract would make it very easy to move on from him if they find someone in the draft or sign someone else. I'm not going to go over all the guys that are still out there as free agents, but there is one guy that I think could be a good fit for the Packers. The one guy still out there that I mentioned when I discussed the safeties alongside Xavier McKinney, and that would be Julian Blackmon from the Colts. He is only 25 years old. Had a 68.3 grade in 2023, had 468 snaps in the box and 308 snaps as free safety. So he has that ability to play deep or play up in the box. And the Packers would love to have that with their safeties. As of my recording this on Saturday night, he is still out there. I'm just saying. Now let's get to the mock draft. We're going to try the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator today. We'll still do 7 rounds. We'll speed this up, see how we do. At pick number 25, surprisingly, mostly surprisingly, because I never have him fall to me on the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator, Cooper DeJean is available, listed as a safety, but he played mostly corner at Iowa. Looks like he does have the athletic skills to play safety. 6'1", 207, had a grade of 77.4 in 2023, 88.5 in 2022. At pick number 41, we're going to shore up the defensive line a little bit with Rook Ororo, and hoping I didn't botch his name, but I think I got that right. Defensive tackle out of Clemson, 6'4", 295. Pro Football Focus graded him 75.8 in 2023, and previous year was a 77.7. At pick number 58, I think the Packers will go and get a linebacker. And one of the guys that could fit the bill is Junior Colson, linebacker from Michigan. 6'3", 247, an 81.7 grade in 2023. Just fantastic job in 2023. At pick number 88, and we are going to try and help the offense solve their red zone issues with a guy who would really be a problem for defenses in the red zone, and that is Johnny Wilson from Florida State. He is 6'7", 237. You could line him up at wide receiver. You could line him up at tight end and basically just throw him jump balls. He was a little inconsistent in 2023. He did have a grade of 76.0, 41 receptions, 617 yards, just 2 touchdowns. In 2022, he had 43 receptions, but 897 yards, which is almost a 21-yard average, and 5 touchdowns. I think he'd be a real matchup nightmare for defenses. At pick 91, I think we are going to add some depth or some competition at cornerback. We'll take the cornerback Renardo Green out of Florida State, 6 foot 186, a grade of 83.2 in 2023. A 73.5 grade in 2022. Lots of experience on the edge at Florida State, but did take a few snaps in 2021 at slot corner. So maybe there's some position versatility for him there. At pick number 126, I think we're going to add some explosiveness to the running back group. Jalen Wright, the running back out of Tennessee, who we've talked about a little bit in previous mock drafts. Pick number 169. We need to address the offensive line, get some help there. We'll pick up Christian Jones, the offensive tackle out of Texas, has played right tackle the last 2 years, but did play a year at left tackle for the Longhorns. 6'6", 321, a grade of 75.2 on 907 snaps in 2023, a 70.7 grade in 2022, 877 snaps. At pick 202, and I've seen him ranked much higher than this on other draft boards, Satao Lamé, a guard out of Utah. Did play tackle for the Utes, though. A 65.4 grade in 2023, 798 snaps at right tackle. Also played right tackle in 2022, 928 snaps there. But in 2021, he did play right guard. So he has positional flexibility, and we know how much the Packers love that. At pick 219, another guy who I've seen rated much higher than this on other draft boards. Packers could look at the center out of Michigan, Drake Nugent, 6'2", 301, a 78.0 grade in 2023. He's a 3-year starter. 80.5 grade in 2022 and 77.5 grade in 2021. At pick 245, Packers could pick up some safety depth. Safety Ryan Watts out of Texas, 6'3", 206, so he's got good size. 2023 had a grade of 64.2, had a better 2022 where he had a grade of 70.6. Played a lot of corner, but some safety as well, both those years. At pick number 255, continued to add some competition and depth at the running back position. We're going to take Dillon Johnson, still on the board, out of Washington. 233 carries, 1,189 yards in 2023, and 88.3 grade. Scored 16 touchdowns, also had 24 receptions, had an 81.3 grade in 2022. All right, let's take a look at this draft. Round 1, Cooper DeJean, safety out of Iowa. Round 2, Rook Ororo, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Also, round 2, Junior Colston, linebacker out of Michigan. Round 3, Johnny Wilson, tight end wide receiver out of Florida State. His teammate, also in round 3, Renardo Green, cornerback. Round 4, Jalen Wright, running back out of Tennessee. Round 5, Christian Jones, offensive tackle out of Texas. Round 6, Satoa Lumet, guard out of Utah. Round 7, Drake Nugent, center out of Michigan. Safety Ryan Watts out of Texas. And running back Dillon Johnson, running back out of Washington. I'll return in a few days to discuss any free agency updates and how they could affect the Packers and the upcoming draft. Wrapping up this episode, I'd like to remind you to be sure to subscribe, engage with me on social media, wishing you all a great rest of your weekend, and go Pack Go.